And our top focus on WION, Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman meets French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris. The French president is expected to nudge the de facto leader of the oil-rich kingdom into more full-throttled support for Ukraine. The Crown Prince is due to attend a Paris summit on a new global financing pact hosted by Macron on June 22nd to June 23rd. Now, the visit of the 37-year-old Crown Prince comes less than a year after his last visit to the Elysee Palace. It underlines the warm relationship between Paris and Riyadh that has irked rights activists in the wake of the 2018 killing of Saudi critic Jamal Khashoggi. Saudi Arabia has maintained a cautious stance throughout the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. Riyadh has stopped short of condemning the assault while emphasizing the importance of Ukraine's territorial integrity. MBS hosted President Volodymyr Zelensky just last month in Jeddah during an Arab League summit. It marked the Ukrainian leader's first visit to West Asia since the invasion began. However, Saudi also retains close ties to Russia, particularly through Moscow's involvement in the expanded OPEC+ format of the oil cartel. Macron is likely to encourage MBS to use Saudi Arabia's influence among the Sunni community in Lebanon. The country's parliament has failed to elect a president and break a political deadlock that has gripped the country for months now. The stalemate is causing increased exacerbation for France, and a French official has said that in Saudi Arabia's normalization with Iran, there is potential for easing tensions in the region. There is hope that resumption of Saudi-Iran ties could also smooth the path to an election of a Lebanese president. Now, Mohammed bin Salman's stay in France appears to be set for a long one. On Monday, he will attend an official Saudi reception for Riyadh's candidacy to host Expo 2030, a bid for which Saudi wants strong French support. Now, for more on this, our correspondent Ross Cullen is joining us live from Paris. Just moments back, Crown Prince MBS and French President met in Paris, of course, and France is looking specifically for some support from Saudi Arabia towards Ukraine. But Ross, this is a complicated terrain for Riyadh, which is a close ally of Moscow. How optimistic do you think Emmanuel Macron should be?
Yeah, just a few minutes ago, just around the corner from where I am here in central Paris at the Elysee Palace, the French presidential residence and office. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman getting out of the car, handshakes with Emmanuel Macron. They are now sitting down for a working lunch, something that you can consider certainly will be provided well by France. So on a Friday afternoon, a long lunch for discussions about many different topics. One of those, the war in Ukraine, with the two men discussing what Macron will want to see is that more full-blooded support from Riyadh for the Western position to try to support Ukraine in fighting off Russia's ongoing invasion of its sovereign territory. But there is obviously a link between Riyadh and Moscow as well. We've seen Emmanuel Macron try to navigate that path in relations with China over its relationship with Russia. Now another path for Emmanuel Macron to try to navigate in terms of the Saudi Arabian-Russian relationship. Something that Emmanuel Macron makes clear in his foreign policy is that he believes it's better to engage with the leaders, no matter how controversial they are. His several phone calls last year with Vladimir Putin, the Russian leader, to try to urge him to withdraw his forces from inside Ukraine. And so Emmanuel Macron is happy to meet Mohammed bin Salman despite the pressure from rights activists, despite the alleged human rights abuses, because Emmanuel Macron does feel it's better to be able to try to advance and improve relationships through face-to-face talks.
Absolutely, it seems to be Emmanuel Macron's policy that the dialogue comes first, no matter what, be that with China's Xi Jinping or now Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. But the meeting is also sparking criticism from rights groups, Ross. This is MBS's first trip to Europe since the killing of Jamal Khashoggi, the journalist. Is this not being seen as hypocrisy in Paris's part?
Well, there was outrage across the Western world, particularly in its response after the 2018 killing and then the disappearance of the body of Jamal Khashoggi, murdered inside the Saudi consulate in the Turkish city of Istanbul. Some people believe on the orders of Mohammed bin Salman, though the Saudi Crown Prince denies that. That was 5 years ago, and there is certainly an importance when it comes to the importance of Saudi Arabia, the significance of that country to Western allies like the United States, the United Kingdom and to France. Investment from those countries into Saudi Arabia also buying combat aircraft, for example, arms from the West, and so there are certainly a lot of business discussions that will also perhaps be discussed by Emmanuel Macron and Mohammed bin Salman this lunchtime.
All right, Ross, we will be closely tracking all the developments that come from this meeting. For now, thank you for joining us on this broadcast.